with me. The past few guests I've had haven't said it with me. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Say it with me.
Because we are amigas. I wish I was Latina. I need my shirt.
You're Italian, so like kind of same thing.
Yeah.
You're like the European Latina, you know?
I'm really pale right now, so don't judge me.
I have Caryssa on the pod. Also, I like, not a disclaimer, but sorry I've been gone for 2 weeks.
She needed it. She needed that time off.
I've been crying. I've been working. No, as you guys know, I feel like I haven't shut up about the market. I'm in the middle of hosting a market, so life is just crazy, but I am back. I have Caryssa with me. I am so excited to talk to you and have everyone listen. Your story is so inspiring. Do you want to give a quick little bio
my
about
Instagram
you?
bio?
Your
Okay.
Instagram bio.
Well, I'm Caryssa. I'm 29. I've worked in retail for 12 years. Finally got to open my own retail store. So she's thriving.
Love that.
A little bit of surviving going on. I have a 3-year-old son. His name's Alden. He's the best. Also very crazy. But yeah, I don't even know. I'm like, what's my favorite color? Black.
Yeah, I'm like, I can see it on you. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's me. Super mellow. I don't even know what I like anymore because I'm a mom and I work full time. I'm like just getting drinks with my friends and yeah.
Right before we started recording, we were like spazzing out. It is
Val and I spaz.
It is 8 a.m. right? No, 8:30. We haven't had coffee, but we're like just like super spazzy because mom life and then like hustler life. We're both hustling right now.
Yeah.
And that's what this episode is going to be about is your hustle.
The hustle.
Your hustle your hustle specifically because so Chris and I were at a creatives dinner the other night hosted by one of our friends, and Caryssa co-owns
the new one.
Okay, co-owns a new the second location for Purre Boutique. Purre Boutique is a local boutique in Costa Mesa, super, super cute. You guys are probably the only boutique I actually like because you guys actually get good things where I feel like other boutiques are like, I don't know, they're kind of like the same thing, you know, like
For
nothing
sure.
like wows me, but I love how you guys style things. I love like the things you post on Instagram. And when we were chatting at the creatives dinner the other night, I was just I've known you for so long. I've been shopping up here for so long, and I never knew the story. Like I just knew that you like managed it and then like you guys opened a second location and then like, but it was really cool. And also like, I guess in your case, you don't really have the opportunity to share much about your story unless you're like hopping on Instagram. You're like, hey guys, do you want to hear about my story? So I was like, this would be so cool to like invite listeners into your story is really inspiring.
Thank
so
you.
yeah.
Thank you. I know, I hate sharing about myself on Instagram. Like everybody, even Michelle who hosted the dinner, she was like, yeah, you gotta like share, you know, talk on the camera. And I was like, I don't want to. I'm gonna let the other girls be the face of the Instagram because they're so cute, they're young, and they have way more time and energy than I do to take pictures all the time. But
it's just like it's awkward like talking about yourself and your story, and it's like one of those things like I'm not saying people feel this way, but like in your brain you can be like, nobody even asked though, why am I talking about
why do they
this?
care? I'm like, oh yeah, my skincare. No.
No, literally my biggest like fear. I'm like, why am I sharing this? No one actually like cares.
I love it. But yeah, and I also feel like it's tough to like balance that line because it isn't my store completely. So I'm like, okay, I'm sharing like my style or my thoughts, but are people going to be like, wait, who even are you? Like, why do we care what you like? So, but we'll get there. We're working on it. I'm trying to be in front of the camera more, but I really do enjoy like behind the scenes of it a lot. And I think that's where I thrive and I live. Yeah. But yeah, we met at Purre.
Yeah.
How long ago? Like 8 years ago or something?
Yeah. Oh my God,
crazy?
that's so weird.
Or like 6 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. That was like kind of a lot.
No, I feel like, because I think we met when I had one kid. I had only
you had Hendrix and you were pregnant. Yeah.
Weird.
Well, like I knew you when you were pregnant.
Yeah. Crazy.
But yeah, wild. No, I've been at the shop, I want to say like 6 years. I just was a customer and I came in and I vibed with Angel so hard. We were just like yapping when I was in there while I was shopping. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm like going to Alaska with my boyfriend for a few weeks. And like, I might need someone to like help me with work. And I was like, oh my God, me. Like, I've been in retail forever. I love this store. Tried to get a job. It didn't work out at that time. I went to Madewell, and then I was at Madewell for a while and saw Angel again. And I was like, hey, like, kind of looking for some extra money. Like, are you guys hiring? Went and worked there like 2 days a week. It was like nothing. I was just a stylist, like how my young girls are. Yeah. And so I did that for a while. Angel and I became super close. I learned a lot from her. Like, she was a hustler too. Like, she just did it all, and she was kind of self-taught. Like, I had done other jobs where like I learned how to do flat lays and styling with like an LA designer that I worked with for a while.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, this was like many moons ago.
Wow.
I was probably like I want to say I was like 20. I wasn't even 21 yet. Yeah, I was 20.
Wow.
I was an intern for an LA designer. She sold at Revolve. So it was it was really cool. I learned a lot there. But when I came to Purre and Angel's like doing all these flat lays and stuff, I was like, oh, how did you learn how to do this? She's like, oh, I just did it. And I was like, what? Like, crazy. Just so inspired by her. Yeah. Aww. So I was like her little shadow. I would like follow her around and learn so much. But then I got pregnant, and I couldn't stay at Purre because my first trimester was so bad. I was so nauseous all day. I literally opened a box of candles and almost threw up like in the trash can behind the counter. And I was like, yeah, I don't know.
This is
like,
not for me.
Yeah, I was like, I think I need to take some time off. So I left, and then it was kind of just up in the air. Like it wasn't like a maternity leave. I didn't know if I would come back. And it was right after COVID too. Cause I got pregnant. Yeah, I got pregnant in 2020, like during COVID. Yeah. But I was working, which was like right after everything had opened back up. Yeah. But so I just took some time off, and then I guess, like first year of motherhood was great. I just like dove into that role like 100%. I didn't do anything else. I was really lucky to be able to stay home with him, and I was home with him every day. And then, he's getting a little older, like almost a year old. I think it was like, he was like 8 months old. And I had really missed the connection of like working with people, talking to people. I'm very extroverted. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. So I was like, just reached out to Angel, and I was like, hey, I think I want to come back to work. Like, do you guys have anything? I could just work 1 day a week, like super mellow. I'm a mom full time. So let me just work 1 day a week. And it worked out. And I came back, and at the time, do you remember when they were doing Pause? Yeah. So they were trying to open a second store, Pause Studios or something, where everything was very intentional. It was kind of like Purre, but more minimal, like totally my vibe, like up my alley. And I told Angel, I was like, hey, let me come back 1 day a week, and then like I can help you guys with Pause, because this is like totally my vibe. Like, and she was like, okay, cool. And then, life happens, and she decided she needed to leave. She was like burnt out. She had been doing it for like 8 years, I think. Yeah,
that's a long time.
It's a long time. And the store's so small, you do everything. Like, she did everything. She didn't have any help. We were all just little worker bees. Angel was like the queen bee. I don't know how she did it. She did a lot. Aww. So...
And she had a vintage line on top of that, which is crazy. And doing like pop-ups.
This was the time she was doing full-time vintage. She was like, I'm going to do vintage full-time. And I was like, that's amazing. Like, I love that for you. And so she comes to my house, and she sits me down, and I was like, oh my God, I thought something was wrong with like our friendship. I was like, what did I do? I hate you. She was like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, okay, like, what did I do? I'm really sorry, whatever it was. And she sits me down. She goes, I'm leaving Purre. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, you are Purre. Like, how could you leave Purre? And she was like, I just need to do vintage full time. This is like my calling, and I'm really burnt out. She's like, but I want you to like take over. Yeah. Go in my place. She's like, I know you could do it. She's like, you've been wanting to do it for so many years, and never had the opportunity. She's like, so yeah, like, I have chills, because like the conversation we had was really beautiful, and she was really complimentary of me, and I just was like, okay, I know I can do this, but also like, fuck, can I do this? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I took over. It was very wild and weird and happened really fast, and then all of a sudden I just like got this wave of like, I have so many ideas for how we can make the store better. And I told you at the dinner, like, for so many years, I had kind of like an identity crisis, where I was like, I have all this experience. I've worked really cool jobs where I know how to do a lot of different things than most girls can who just work in retail. I have all this experience, I have all these skills, and nobody would ever hire me or like take a chance on me and allow me to like show them these skills that I had. And I went through a period of like, it was a long time of like applying at many different jobs that I knew I was qualified for, but I don't have a degree and I didn't go to fashion school. I like just have always just worked in retail, but different jobs too, where I have like kind of a well-rounded like fashion experience, I guess, for Orange County. You know, I never lived in LA. I never did any of that. So, but nobody would take a chance on me. And so like, finally I felt like, okay, I've been waiting like 6 years to have like an opportunity like this. And I just took it and I ran with it. Yeah. And Natasha, who is the owner of Purre, she just like said yes to everything. Yeah. She's like such a yes man. But I'm sitting here talking on the phone and I'm like, okay, so you've offered me this position. I asked for the salary that I think I deserve and you gave it to me. And then I wanted to do all these crazy like changes to the store. Like even something as simple as I wanted to change out all the hangers. Cause we had, do you remember we had these like little thin like plastic, like they were like wooden, like really crappy hangers.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah.
I don't think I remember.
Bad hangers. I'm like aesthetic. I'm like, yes, I can't. Yeah. So I'm rambling, but so like I was just like, yeah, let's change out all the hangers. Like, let's get like nice hang tags. We had these hang tags that were just handwritten for years. Like bad. And we had all these tools in the back stockroom just collecting dust. Like we had a scanner, we had the stuff to make all the printed tags. And I was just so determined to make Purre in the image that I knew it should be. Yeah. And I just grabbed all this stuff from the back collecting dust and sat there for like until I figured it out. Yeah. All day. I was like, amazing. I didn't even care. I just sat there and I was like, okay, called her. I was like, hey, got the scanner up, got the Dymo working. Like, I was like, I'll redo our logo. Let's make printed tags. Yeah. Let's make the store scannable. I was like, it'll be so much easier. We had to manually type in every product in the store. It was like, yeah, it was awful.
Oh my gosh.
So I just got to work and then the work never stopped from there. Yeah. And tragically, my grandpa passed away, I want to say 2 years ago now. Yeah, had to have been. And he left all of us a little bit of money. And so at the time I was like, okay, I've been doing this managing for like a year. I made all these changes to the store. I made us basically more efficient. I redid our entire website. I redid our entire Instagram too. Like just kind of took it in a more, I don't know. I always saw Purre as like just this really relatable lifestyle store. Like we have so many loyal customers, so many regulars, and the Instagram was always like a source of pressure. And I think it still can be too, but I was like, let's just make this easy and fun. Like people like to see real bodies, real girls, like have the girls try on stuff and take pictures, or like, you know, if we do a flat lay, like cool, but I'm not as worried about that. I just want it to feel relatable and people like the stuff that we're posting and they see one of our girls wearing it and they're like, oh, that looks like my body, or that looks like me. That looks like it would fit me. I'm going to come in and try it on. Yeah. So I just took the Instagram more in like the relatable direction that I wanted. And so I had gotten to this point where I did all this stuff and I was really proud of myself, completely changed the way the store functioned. Wow. And got a little bit of money and I was like, I really love doing this. Like, I want my own store. I realized like, okay, this is my passion. Like, I like retail. I worked retail for 12 years. It doesn't have to be, you know, you're just working in some random corporate store, like folding the same stack of clothes 500 times a day. Yeah. Like it can be creative, it can be fast, it can be fun, and it can be rewarding. And I was like, I want to do this, like really do this. And so I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, okay, if I have my own store, I'm going to want to put all the same stuff that we have in Purre in my store, because we have so many female local brands in Purre, and I've made connections with a lot of these people too, and I want to support them, and I genuinely love all their products. And I was like, why would I compete and open my own store, start from scratch, when we have this beautiful store right now who's full of community, full of like local vendors. We do all the pop-ups. I was like, I don't want to compete with this. Yeah. And I kind of just told I told Tosh like my idea about wanting something that I could kind of put more of myself into. And once again, she just surprised me with, okay, yeah, let's talk about it.
So cool.
I'm like, oh, what?
It's like everyone's like believing in you, like from Angel, like being like, hey, I'm leaving, but I'm handing off the baton to you. It's like sometimes people see our potential a lot more than we even see it. So I think that's so cool.
And I think I had to come to a place too where I realized my potential as well, because I was waiting for so many years for all this external validation.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I have great experience. I have great skills. I love what I do.
Yeah.
I know I can do this. And so it had to come from a place from within where I was like, hey, I can do this if you take a chance on me.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what happened with Tosh. I was like, these are all the things I know I can do. And if you just like invest in me, your store will be better for it.
Yeah.
And it was super weird to say those things because like, I don't know. It's weird to like talk about yourself in that way. You know, I feel like we're so programmed to just be like, oh, you know, I could be better, or I could do this, or I could do that.
Right.
But, you know what I mean? Like we kind of are very negative about ourselves. And so it took a lot of courage for me to be like, I know the store can be better if we implement X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she basically just told me like, yeah, if we find the right place and it feels right and it's the right price, she's very numbers oriented. I'm like visuals, aesthetic.
That's me. Yep.
Yeah. And she's like very numbers, which is great. We balance each other out.
Yeah.
But, so I go to the tailor up at Paseo and I like to shop, and I was buying a lot of pants at this time and I'm 4'11". So I have to tailor all my pants. So I'm going over like 2 months. I'm going to this tailor a lot. And, you know, Paseo is just beautiful. Like you walk in that plaza and you're like, wow, what is this hidden gem over here?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And so I'm walking through, I'm passing by like 4 open units, and Layered by Paige Elise was there at the time. Did you ever go in there? It was like,
no, I don't think so.
It's like bougie, like interior design. Like it's cute. It's very cute, but very expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm walking by, there's Paige Elise, there's Milligram, but nothing else. And this tailor upstairs, and I'm walking by these open units and I'm like, why are these here? These have been here for 2 months. They're just sitting on this real estate. Like what? They're losing money. Why are these here? Why are these open? This is a gorgeous center. Purre should be in here.
Yeah.
Like this is a perfect place. So I talked to Angel. I call her and I was like, hey, I'm walking by these places. I'm like, they're beautiful. Like I want to open a store here. She's like, just call. I was like, what do you mean just call? Yeah, just call. Just call and tell them you're a boutique and you're interested in possibly being in there, and have them show it to you. And I was like, what do you mean call? Like, what do I say? I was like, what if they ask me for information about the store? I was like, I don't even have like the authority to say any of this. She's like, it doesn't matter. Lie. She's like, just call. She's like, just call and see. So I did that. They were very slow. They took forever. I'm calling like every 3 days.
Oh my god.
For like 2 weeks. And I'm like, hey, I want to see this unit. And I started to get like annoyed. I was like, we have a boutique. You guys have these open units.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
You're going to show it to me. And
were they answering, or was it just
they were
going to
answering.
voicemail?
They just, nobody would call me back about looking at it.
So annoying.
Yeah. And I'm just like, so I'm telling Tosh like, hey, I'm trying to look at these units, whatever. She's so far away. So I like handle everything when I'm down, when I'm here. So finally they showed it to me, and I'm just like sending Tosh all these pictures. And I was like, Tosh, like I know in my gut, we are meant to be here. I was like, this center is so beautiful. And, you know, she's very numbers oriented. She's very calculated in everything she does. She's like, okay, sounds great. I trust you, but I want to see it. And she lives 18 hours away. She comes down once every 6 weeks, maybe, if she can. And so I'm just in this waiting period for like months of her to come and look at it. And I'm like, Tosh, these are just sitting here. Like, I don't want to lose this opportunity. Like, the real estate that we're in, we're next to Shirley's Bagels, Sidecar,
all the
Greenleaf.
best things.
I was like, this coffee shop Milligram is like popping off, and they've only been here a year. So I like, every time I would go to the center, because I would just go and sit there. After I saw the units, I would go and just vibe on the center. I was like, I just have this gut feeling. The other thing that connected me to the center is my grandpa, who passed away, who left us the money. They used to have this beautiful property in Palm Desert that he built with his own hands.
Wow.
It was like this hacienda, beautiful ranch style house out in the middle of Palm Desert. And almost every element that Paseo had design wise looked like my grandparents' house.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In Palm Springs.
That's so special.
Yeah. And so I felt very like physically connected to the center.
Wow.
Yeah. And I like almost couldn't let it go. Like at one point I thought we weren't going to do it. And I had to basically just tell myself like, it's probably not going to happen. Yeah. You got attached to this place. Yeah. Detach immediately.
Yeah.
But I just had such a strong connection to it. And I basically just force my way in there. And Tosh came and she saw it. She's like, it is really beautiful. She's like, the center is stunning. But then we sat down and she's like, but I don't know. She's like, this is going to be a lot of money, a lot of work. And I basically just sat there and I was like, Tosh, like, you've trusted me before. Trust me. Like, I grew up here. I know this area. This center is beautiful. Like, it's not just a random lot on 17th Street where that turnover is like crazy high. Like, it's almost like it basically, our plaza mirrors the Hotcakes Plaza. You've been over there, right? Where Raw Yoga is, like Gracias Madre. It's a beautiful center and that place is poppin'. Yeah. Like, and the vibes matter, right? Yeah. Like, you want to go somewhere cute. You want to have a coffee, sit somewhere, like somewhere just beautiful to look at. I was like, just trust me. This will work out. I was like, invest in me one more time. I was like, and I will do the work. Like, I really will be here. I will show up and I will do the work every day. So yeah, once again, she just like took a leap of faith and trusted in me, trusted in my experience, my vision. She let me take the reins on like 90% of it. I designed the whole store. I pretty much picked all the elements in there. Yeah. Like, did all these mood boards. Like, I feel like I'm glossing over a lot of stuff, but it was a lot of work, like leading up to it. Yeah, all these mood boards and meeting with contractors, we had a designer help us out with the layout, but we sat down with the designer and she goes, you guys don't need me. Like, you have it all mapped out already. She's like, all I can help you do is basically the dimensions so that you can make sure everything fits. Yeah. But like, I just knew what I wanted in my head. I had drawn it so many times and visualized it so many times that it just like manifested itself into like physical matter. It was crazy. So, oh my gosh, but yeah, did I leave anything out? Like, just rambling the whole time?
it's I think it's such a cool story just to have like those specific people like believe in you, believe in your vision, and sometimes like to believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. Like, I've 100%. Had moments like that where I'm like, I don't even know if I can do this, you know? And so
no, imposter syndrome is real, and I still deal with that, like so now like my money's on the line, right, with Purre. And this is kind of what we talked about the other night, where I was like, okay, at the end of the day, right, this is a business. I've invested money into this, so I do want people to come in and shop, and I want to have cool stuff for them to just come in and they love it and they're like, okay, I have to be here, I have to be shopping here. But then I struggle with, well, I don't want people's money. Like, I don't just want them to come in so they can spend their money on the store. Like, I want Purre to be an experience, and it to be a place of community, like we talked about with the pop-ups. Like, I just love all the local female business owners. I want everyone to succeed, and if I can give them like a vessel to succeed in, I love to be able to do that. And so I struggle a lot of the time with, you know, again, Tosh is very numbers oriented, I'm very visual, so she's like, okay, here's what the numbers look like, and I'm like, okay, I'll do my best. I want it to look like this, but I also don't want people to think I just want them to come in here so they can spend their money. Right. Like, that's not what it's about. Yeah. So, so that's a struggle. I like, the Instagram is so important to me for some reason. Yeah. I hate when we fall into that trap of Instagram, but it's the aesthetic, right? I'm just like, I want people to see visually in their hand everything that Purre encompasses. Yeah. So that they'll come in and hang out. Yeah. But like, Purre is just an experience where like, I just want everyone to feel welcome there. And I've always told the girls, like, everyone can find something at Purre. Purre is for everybody. Yeah. Men, women, we have such a wide demographic. Like, somebody can find something in here. And so I always just want everyone to feel like it's an experience when they come in. And they do. We get a lot of compliments. Like, my team is just, I freaking love my girls. I love my team so much. Like, they'll come in and they're just like, you girls are so nice. Like, we love coming into Purre. And, you know, every now and then, I talked about this too at the night, like, we're not just salespeople. Like, we don't want you to come in and we're gonna be like, oh yeah, that looks great. Buy it.
Yeah.
We don't care about that. We want you to feel good. When the girls come out of the dressing room and they're like, oh, you're just telling me it looks good on me so that I'll buy it. I'm like, actually, no. I won't say if I don't think it looks good, I'm not saying anything to you. Like, I'm going to let you decide. But if I think you look good, I'm going to tell you because I want to lift you guys up and make you feel like you just look amazing. Because the women that come in, like, I was thinking about this morning, like, and we talked about this the other night, like, where women will come in and they're like, oh, you know, I can't try on a large. I'm not a large. Or, oh, you only have a size like 29 pant left. Like, I don't know. And then they put it on. I'm like, just try it. Just try it. Maybe it doesn't fit. Just try it on. They try it on. It fits perfect. I'm like, okay, so what was the reservation? Well, I don't want to be a large. I'm like, girl, nobody can see the tag except for you.
Yeah.
Who cares if you're a large?
Yeah.
Wear something that flatters you. Wear something that fits you. Wear something that you feel really good about yourself in.
Yeah.
Who cares what the size is?
Right.
It's a lot of older women, but I feel like even still, you know, we've been trained that way, right?
Yeah.
Like high fashion, got to be skinny, got to be a size 0, got to be a size 2, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, rip all the tags off. I don't want any size tags. No, we don't need size tags. Just just put it on, try it on. I've been a large in Pure and I've also been a small in Pure. Smalls have been too big on me, or smalls I can't even get my legs into at times. Our bodies fluctuate.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Just wear what feels good.
Yeah.
So I've always just wanted Pure to be that experience where people just feel really good when they come in. Like the vibes are high, the clothes are cute, and like clothes matter to me.
Yeah.
I want you to feel good, and I want to feel good. I want to feel cute. It doesn't matter if I'm going to work or going to the grocery store or something. Like I want to feel good about myself and what I'm wearing. And so I just try to implement that in Pure as much as I can.
Yeah.
Tangents.
I love girl, give me all the tangents. We are the tangent queens. I'm like, I will always go off. But no, I think that it's like it is important to see all like the little things like the tangents to see the whole picture together.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like your guys' boutique has just been such a special, like your location was the first, or like your shop was the first place that I ever had a pop-up back when I did vintage for fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm doing this for fun. Like, I'm not going to go spend, some places charge like $300 as like a pop-up fee. And
Yeah,
I'm
I've
like,
heard that.
I'm not going to go pay out of pocket for like something I'm just doing for fun.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even make $300 in this day. Why am I going to spend $300 to be here? Yeah.
And you guys are always so great about like, just like come, like have fun.
Yeah.
Very community oriented, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I hosted a Latina event for Hispanic Heritage Month at your guys' shop, and that was really
that
cool
was
too.
So lit.
That
I had so much fun at that.
I did too, and I'm so sad that I didn't get to do it last fall.
Last year,
yeah, because I just the month just like slipped away,
It's
and
okay.
I like to plan last minute, and I always say when the inspo hits, because I'm like sometimes it's hard to plan things that you're like that you want to be inspired for, because you're like, okay, now I have to like force the inspiration.
Right.
But anyways, that's a whole nother tangent.
No, we can do it anytime. Pure is always open. I love to have people. That's something I'm working on for the new store too, is like, you know, it's a new plaza, so it's a little bit of growing pains.
Yeah.
We've dabbled in the pop-ups. They weren't really sure like what a pop-up is or what that means to them. So
wait, who?
The new plaza. Yeah, Paseo. Yeah.
Okay,
so I'm working on it. It's one of my goals. We'll get Paseo there, like, but the plaza's so beautiful. I'm like,
it's so cute.
I'm like, let's line these walkways up with vendors.
Yes,
like
totally.
Bring people here. Like, what are you
Yeah.
guys doing? You're sleeping on this
Yeah.
center. So
I
I'm working on
know.
it. We'll get there. I gotta ease them into it,
Yes.
warm them up a little bit. But the camp even is such a great place for community and pop-ups and just to like have people come and hang out. Like that's really what it is. I'm like, everybody just come and hang out with me.
Yeah.
Like it's just a
Yeah.
big party. So
And you're so good at like giving off that energy too.
Thank
like
you.
anytime I do walk into Pure, you're like, tell me about your life. Like what's
Yeah.
going on? Like you're just, and it's not like, hey, did you see this like new like rack? Like this.
No, yeah, I literally don't care if people buy anything. Like I'll have girls be like, oh, you know, I didn't like anything. I'm sorry. And I'm like, what are you apologizing for, girl? Like you don't have to buy anything.
Yeah.
Come and hang out. Like don't be sorry. What? Maybe you have like $30 in your account. I don't know. I'm not judging you. You don't have to buy something just because you come in here. But you know, maybe you like the people in here or you like the stuff and you're going to come back.
Yeah.
So it's really such a beautiful place. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come back too when I had just had my son, is like I threw myself into motherhood. I loved it. The first year of motherhood was just so beautiful and sweet. Alden was such an easy baby. I was very grateful for that and grateful for the time that I got to spend with him. And then I was just like, you know what? I have this and I feel very complete with this, but I'm also missing that connection, that community that Purre had to offer. Like the vibes are just so high. Like I swear to God, the frequency in Purre is just like, we are high vibrational in there. It's just, it's so nice. And we get that compliment all the time. Like, wow, I love being in here. Wow, the vibes are so good. You guys are so nice. I'm like, yeah, that's intentional. Like it's just so a beautiful space. Yeah. So I love it. I'm very grateful. I feel like, it's like I even said when you're like, oh yeah, co-owner of Purre. I'm like, am I? Did I make that up? Am I asleep?
Don't gaslight yourself.
Girl, wake up. Like, what's going on? No,
I think that's so badass. It's so cool.
Like, no, I'm so grateful. I wouldn't have been able to do it without Natasha giving me that opportunity and the platform to just be. I mean, she's honestly so sick. Like she's, she's in her 50s, but she comes into town and she's stylish and she is just a hustler. Like she makes stuff happen and I'm learning so much from her. And I'm just so grateful that somebody like that can look at me and not just see like, oh, this 29-year-old girl, like, I don't know, she's young, whatever. What can she really do? She looks at me and she gets inspired by me and I get inspired by her. And she's teaching me so many things that I would have never had the opportunity to learn if I just stayed in retail. Like this is why this is such a rare, beautiful, I'm like beyond grateful, because when you work in retail, there's only so high that you can get, right? You could be a manager, maybe you're a GM, maybe you get let into the company. Like, at Madewell, like there was a manager that I had who I love. She worked there forever before she got up into like, where she goes to New York now and she does different things with Madewell. But I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like, you can only go so far in certain retail places and they really don't want you to go very far. A lot of those big corporations, they want to keep you where you're at. They want to pay you minimum wage and they want to keep you down where you are. Not in a bad way. It's just the way the company works. And so I've been so just blessed to be able to move up and have this opportunity to reach these places that I would have never been able to if I just stayed in regular retail. I mean, my job is so different from anything most people get to do. I'm doing the website, I'm doing the social, I do the vision for the store, I do the buying for the most part. Tosh helps me buy too, but like I have a lot of creative freedom and you don't get to be creative in retail. So
that's so true. Did you ever have like moments like with like Angel and Natasha like believing in you and like giving, handing these like big responsibilities and these like really cool things off to you? Did you ever have moments where you're like, I don't know if I can do this? Like, did you ever struggle with like self-doubt, or were you just like, you know what, I'm just going to jump into it?
Still do. Yeah. But then I just push forward. I'm very good. Tosh and I are both very good at like compartmentalizing. We're just like, fuck, this sucks. Or like, this is really hard. Or like, yeah, we don't know if we're going to be able to do this. And then we just do it. Yeah. And I think that's motherhood too.
That's so true.
Like you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, what's happening to me right now? Like, how can I handle this? And then you just do. You just handle it.
You just
you push through and you're like expanding your brain. And like I said, a little bit ago, like imposter syndrome is super real. And it was super real for me for so many years of feeling like, what am I doing with my life? Yeah. Can I even do this? Is this even the right path for me? And then being given it. And I'm a Capricorn. I'm so like work oriented. I want to be successful. Everything has to be very perfect for me to feel successful. And so like leaning into that and being like, okay, now I'm running a whole team. I've never managed a team before. Yeah. And I've never done this. I've never done that. I know I can do it, but am I doing a good job? Yeah. Am I showing up in the way that I want to show up for my team? And it was a lot of growing pains. Like I definitely took a lot of lessons from like mistakes that I made as a leader or in things that I wasn't 100% confident, like leading a team. Like when we would have little things happen, I'm like, okay, what did I learn from this? How can I do this differently next time? Or how can I grow from this? How can I make sure that my team sees my intentions, sees me, but in a way that's a leader as well. So I've just taken everything that's happened along the way and tried to just grow and be better from it. Yeah. When you're in interviews and they're like, oh, what's your biggest weakness or whatever? Yeah. I'm like, I just take everything as a learning experience. So no weaknesses. No, just kidding.
I'm perfect.
I'm fine. I'm perfect the way I am. I have no weaknesses. No, but I love it. I feel like I've told Angel this. I've told a lot of my close friends, like, I always wanted this and I felt like I was ready for this. But I would never have been ready to take on any of this responsibility if this was before I had my son. I don't know what happened, but after I had my son, I was a completely different person.
I feel like once you become a mom, you're just kind of in survival mode all the time.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, at least for me, my experience, like I'm almost like, sure, I'll just do it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, why
like,
not?
Yeah, I feel like I overthink in a sense, but when it comes to like making decisions, I feel a lot more spontaneous because like you just learn to be flexible as a mom. Like your kids kind of run your life in a way. So it's like you have to just like go with it. And I feel like because of that, I feel like I'm very flexible in other areas. Yeah. So like same, I'm like, whatever. I like literally what you said. I'm like, oh my gosh, like me before kids, like I would have never done the things I have done now, like, which is insane.
It's wild because you have all the time.
Yeah.
You have all the time to do anything.
Right.
I could have worked like over 40 hours a week before I had my son. And I wouldn't have. I was so lazy. Yeah. Like I wouldn't have accepted the challenge. And the imposter syndrome would have been worse, I feel like.
Yes.
I feel like when you are a mom and you have a kid, you feel like, okay, yeah, I could do it. Yeah. Sure I can. Well, if I could do this.
Right.
Which like if you're a mom, you know what I'm referring to, just like the chaos of being a mom. Yeah. You could deal with the chaos of working too. And then I also valued time after because I was really lazy. I was like not a great coworker when I was just a stylist there. Like I would wake up one day and be like, I don't really feel like going to work. I'm gonna just see if I can get my shift covered. Yeah. And like being on the other end of that now where I lead a team and I could spot a me from a mile away. But then I take that as like, okay, if this was me when I was 23, how would I have wanted my leader to respond to this? Yeah. And so I could have used like somebody to be like, no, come on, let's go, get up. Come to work. It'll be fun. Yeah. Take some pictures. Yeah. I don't know, do this. So I try to be very inspiring in that way and act as if I would have wanted somebody to act to me back when I was kind of like a lazy minimum wage worker. So I try to make it fun for them because I remember those days of being like, I don't really want to go to work. Right. But I value time so much differently now because I had all the time in the world and I never used it wisely. And now I have very minimal time. I have like
every second.
I actually love having like a set schedule. Like I'm like, okay, my son goes to school at this time. Yeah. Now I have this time to get all this done. And it makes me hustle harder.
You're such a Capricorn.
Yeah. I'm like, I only have till 3. Like how many fucking things can I get done right now? And I do them and it's fun. And so I think I value my time so much more. I value other people's time so much more than I did before. And that lazy 24-year-old would not have been able to take on the challenge of what I take on now. And so motherhood really offered me that and changed me in that way, made me realize like what life is about and how to squeeze in all the things that you want to do and all the things that fill you up and all the things that challenge you too. Like I definitely take on way more challenges than I would have before. I talked myself out of a lot of stuff before I had kids.
Yeah. I totally feel that. It's like, it's crazy. Like it really does. Not to be all cheesy, but it really does change you for the better. Like it just, and I think part of that too has to do with like age. Like I think about like me in my early 20s too, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what was I doing with my life? Like, I mean, I was newly married, but I was like, but it's now I'm 31, so I'm like, I feel like, I'm obviously in a different decade, and I'm just like, I'm reflecting a lot on like who I was then, and like I've been reflecting a lot on time in general, like, oh my gosh, like kind of like what you're saying, like I let so much time pass by. Like I could have worked more, like I could have done this, I could have done that. And it's like hard not to like be fixated on that, but I'm like, you know what, this is where I'm at now, and like because of who I was then is like who I am now, and that's why I 1000%. Do accept challenges, and I am such a dreamer and like achiever in certain ways, and
you value your time now, and you're like, okay, this is what I can fit in. And I think our early 20s is just for that, just learning and growing, and learning from our mistakes, learning like we can't go back and say like, oh, I wish I would have done this or whatever. Okay, do it now. You know now. So we're learning, we're growing, we're moving forward and trying to do all the things, and as stressful as it is, I love it. I love
sometimes
the hustle.
like I feel like I go back and forth on like hustle culture. Like I feel like in my early and mid 20s, I was very much like a hustler. I was gone literally from like 8 a.m. to like 8 p.m. just like doing things, like filling my time up with things. And I feel like now like I'm still hustling in a sense, but I feel like I've learned to listen to my body a lot more and to like really be aware of like, okay, what fills my cup? Like in that, like when I do need a second to just like breathe, like what is going to make me feel like refreshed and stuff. So it's crazy. But
it's a balance.
It's such a balance. And I lacked that balance when I was younger and like before I was a mom. And now I'm like, ooh, I need to listen to my body.
I was the opposite. I was like such a self-care girly. I'm like, take a bath in the middle of the day.
I love
like,
that.
The days
oh my
off,
God.
I'm going to watch Netflix all day, like, and just like be in my body and like do a face mask, do some skincare. But it was like almost too much. Like, just like you were saying, you were hustling too much. I was like too leisurely. Yeah. But it did teach me like, okay, when I do need to like take a moment, I can appreciate the hustle now because I had so much time off. I'm like, okay, I love this. I'm like living in this. I don't think it made me feel good to be too slow. And I don't think it makes you feel good to be too fast. I think you have to be able to, find some peace in that. And when I'm working a lot and like we were just talking about, like when I was opening the store, just like dropping the ball on so many things and I felt very out of control, very scattered. Yeah. And so now things are kind of tapering off and a little slow. It's a slow season for retail. I'm like frothing. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do with my time right now? What am I going to do? I've already shot all the photos. I've already updated the website. I've already shot Instagram. I'm like, what do I do? So I feel like it's like, we just need that balance as humans. Otherwise we can feel really off kilter if one thing is maybe it's a Capricorn thing. I don't know.
I have no, wait, what's your Enneagram? You're 6, right?
I am a 6. Okay. I haven't looked at the Enneagram in so long. My Instagram is just full, I told you, of like just astrological, just funny stuff. And so I've just been like kind of vibing on that. But yeah, I'm a 6.
Okay. I'm a 3-wing 4, but I've been having an identity crisis for the past year where I'm like, am I a 3? Because 3s are like overachievers and performers. And I lean more into the performer than I do with the achiever. Like I do like to achieve, but I'm also not like, I'm not competitive. Like I'm not like,
either.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't care who beats. Like I don't care enough.
I just hope both teams have fun.
Yeah. Literally. And my wing is a 4, which is like the individualist. So like they want to feel unique in their own ways. They see uniqueness in others.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like I feel like I'm leaning way more into that.
Well, maybe you're a 4-wing 3.
I know, but I don't know. I need to like talk to like an actual Enneagram. It'd be so fun actually to get an Enneagram coach because I feel like the way people are with like astrology, I am with the Enneagram. Yeah. Astrology, honestly, like there's so many things that overwhelm me. I'm like, I don't know what the moon sign means or like the rising or anything.
It's a lot. Well, you could ask me, I'll tell you.
I know. I'm like, I want to know. I have to figure out like you asked me my rising sign?
Yeah, your rising. Because so like your rising sign, this is so off topic, but like your rising sign is how you present. So like so my rising sign's a Leo. So to people, because I'm so extroverted, I present as a Leo to people because I have that very like extroverted sense. I love to look good. That's what Leos are basically. They're like, they love their image. They're very extroverted. They're like the life of the party, social butterfly. So that's how you present is your rising sign. Your moon sign is how you are when you're alone. And so it's like all these traits, like, you know, when you read about your sun sign, it's like all these traits that come up. So each sign has traits, but depending on where it is in your house, that's how the signs will relate to you in a different way. So like my moon sign is Taurus, and Taurus is notoriously like very mellow, likes to just chill. And so my moon sign is when I'm alone, I'm very leisurely. Yeah. I'm like, watch my trash TV, sit on the couch, do a face mask, take a bath. And then my sun sign is who I am at my core. So Capricorn, I'm very work oriented, huge drive, good work ethic, that kind of stuff. So but I think it's cool knowing like your sun, your moon, and your rising, because we can't just be one thing, right? Yeah. Like, so it's cool to see it as a whole. Oop, It's cool to see it as a whole, because I don't feel like 100% connected to like this work hustle. Like I feel like that's just a part of me.
Yeah.
And then there's all these other parts.
True.
Too. And that's why the Enneagram's cool too, is because I mean, all of that stuff I love.
It's so fascinating to me. I'm just like...
anything, just learning about yourself. And, you know, we sit in our brain all day long, every day. But then it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, I do resonate with that. This is me. I love that that's what people see. Or it just feels good to have that validation of like... and it's just fun. Yeah. It's fun to read that stuff.
It's fun. I'll figure out my rising and my moon sign because...
you have to be like a Gemini rising or like something
because I am so, it's exhausting having so many feels and emotions. Like
maybe you're a Libra then. Like maybe you have Libra in your house somewhere.
I have no idea. And it's funny because I feel like for my, like basically my entire 20s, basically my entire life actually, I like turned that part of me off because like the way I was raised, without going into it too much, like I wasn't allowed to have any other emotions when I was a child. Like I was typical second child, like, so like, oh, unbothered, like whatever, like go off by yourself, like we're busy and stuff. And then I had a very complicated relationship with my dad, and I feel like with my culture too, a lot of it's like don't show weakness, but at the same time my mom is such a feeler and a crier too, so like I did see a lot of expressive emotions in that way. But I just, as a kid, wasn't ever allowed to like feel any other emotion.
You had to push it down.
And I was always like spunky and extroverted since like literally Rio is me. And it's so funny because like I like tell her, I'm like, tell me how you're feeling. Like I want her to know that she like can feel her emotions and she doesn't always have to be, because I think people just like gravitate towards Rio. And it was the same with me as a kid where they're like, oh my gosh, she's so funny, she's so cute, look how she's dressed, look at her hair, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so in my head it was kind of like okay, I'm a star, like I have to be a star all the time,
right?
Very performative, which is where I lean into the performer as a 3.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I'm on a tangent.
No, I love it. I love to hear it. And I think that's what's so beautiful about parenthood and motherhood is I don't know, it's like you kind of don't even think about any of that stuff until you're a parent again. And then all of a sudden you're reflecting on like, whoa, wait, this was how my childhood was. And I don't want my childhood to be like that for my kid.
Yeah.
And so you're just trying to do the best that you can to give them a safe experience to be themselves and kind of fill that gap of like what you didn't have as a kid.
Right.
So I think it's really beautiful that you are self-aware enough to know that like, okay, when I was a kid I was very much like Rio, but I didn't have this safe space to like be myself,
to like feel.
And so now you're offering that to her, and I just think I feel like our generation specifically is so self-aware on how we want to parent and how we were parented as kids and what we don't want to do moving forward. And a lot of generations do that too, but I even see like a lot of dads, you know, like Garrett's such a great dad, and he had a horrible relationship with his dad growing up, and all he can focus on is he just wants to be the best dad. He doesn't want to be like how his dad was. He wants to offer Alden a safe space. And I see that, like, especially in Costa Mesa, I'm walking around, there's all these super hands-on dads.
Many involved dads. I've noticed that too, honestly.
I think it's beautiful. And I think we just had like a collective, I don't know, we all had such similar upbringings apparently, where we just want to be the best parents we can and be super involved. And but also we're in a day and age that it's like, in this economy, having 2 parents working, it's like you have to.
Right.
You have to have a dual income. Yeah. So I love that people try to find the balance between like, okay, we know we both have to be working. Yeah. But we're both going to still be as hands-on as we can be. Right. We're like breaking all those traumatic, like generational things of like, I'm the man, I work, I make all the money, you stay home with the kids. I could not do that. No. I was a stay-at-home mom for like the 8 months and I was losing it. I was like, I need to get back out into the world. I got to get dressed. I got to get cute. Fashion was something that helped me kind of like remember who I was through motherhood, because your body changes so much. Like nothing fit me in my closet. I didn't even like half the stuff I had. Yeah. And so getting up and going back to work after 8 months where I could get dressed and feel cute and not just be in sweatpants and like spit up covered clothes. Yeah. I was like, I feel like myself. Yeah. And then I just like dove into that. I'm like, I can be myself. I can be fashionable. I can be expressive in what I wear and still be a mom, still be a good mom. That exists. Yeah. Yeah. So I can exist in both worlds. I don't need to be, just because I'm a mom, I have to dress a certain way or be a certain way. Like fashion is so important to me. And it reminded me who I was when I was kind of lost in the trenches of like early motherhood. So yeah, it's tough out there, ladies. Come to Purre. I'll help you.
We'll hype you up.
Yeah, we'll make you feel good. And listen, you don't have to be the size that you were before you had kids. Nobody can see the tag but you. Wear what feels good. Yeah. Express yourself. And I love you inspire me with that too, because you're like, I just want to express myself. I'm going to dress how I want to dress, no matter what's trending, no matter what everybody else is wearing. Like, I want to feel good, and this is who I am. And so I love that you do that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that too. Like, I have 5 blazers. It's fine. I'm a businesswoman. I like blazers. 8 a.m.
on a Friday morning. Do it. You know? I love it.
But yeah, so it's just... It's so important, I think, in life, and also just in motherhood too, is just being able to still feel like you have that individuality and you can express yourself and be who you want to be, and also be a mother. The two can exist at the same time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I love that. I feel like, okay, we're good on time.
Are we? I was like, oh shit.
No, we're good. But I like appreciate you coming and just like having this conversation. I think it's going to be like so inspiring to a lot of people, and I'll have to have you on again. So
we'll do it again because we gab. But even like
part 2.
So like today and Wednesday too, like I even said at the dinner, like I don't feel like I belong here. Like, I'm not a maker. I don't make things with my hands. When people see me, they're like, oh yeah, she just runs a boutique. You know, they don't know. And I don't feel connected to that either. Like, I'm not a part of like the vintage girls. I'm not a part of the jewelry girls. I don't make anything.
Yeah.
But I still belonged on Wednesday when we had that night together with all the business women and talking about it and sharing my story. I was like, wow, okay, I do belong in this setting. Like, I am, a small business owner, I guess.
Definitely. Yeah. You still have a business, and you're using your creative juices in a different way. Cause I was saying that night too, I relate too. I don't make anything with my hands. I get so overwhelmed. Anything DIY. I'm not a maker, but I'm like, I can take a good photo, or I can dress. I can dress cute. I look ugly right now, but
no, you don't. I feel like too, like with Instagram being as big as it is now, it's like you can definitely feel that where you're like, well, I'm not as good as, or I don't do as much as, but we're all so creative in our own way. Everybody has their own unique style, and I've been like leaning into that so hard. I don't need to be anything else other than what I am or what I bring, and everything that each person brings is so special and inspiring in their own way. So like being there on Wednesday talking about it, and then being here today and talking about it, I'm like, oh, okay, this feels good. I remember I belong. I remember who I am. I remember that I work really, really hard, and that people are receiving that.
Totally.
So
I'm grateful. You're doing great, and I love you. And if you're in the area, come to Purre with 2 R's.
Purre with 2 R's.
Visit both locations. Different vibes, but both great.
Same, but different. The camp is such a younger demographic. It's more fun. I definitely do a lot more color over there. And then Paseo is just like our higher end brands. We do a lot of Modref, and we have Le Bon Shop and Wild House Paper, brands that are like super close to my heart. I love to have that stuff. So you'll see when you come in, it's definitely more like my aesthetic. It's more minimal. I
feel like it's kind of like a capsule collection.
1,000%. I love a capsule wardrobe. I try the way that I merch the store too is like, I want you to be able to just grab an outfit. It's on there.
I love that.
And I love that. Building your capsule wardrobe. And it's not only neutrals, right? Like, I love neutrals, but color's fun too. Color's expressive. I don't want everybody to be like sad beige. Like, I love beige. I love black, white, and beige, but I'm like, get some color in there, get some red, get some green, get some blue. Come and just get stuff that speaks to you, and you can still have color in your capsule wardrobe. 1,000%.
I love that. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Oh my gosh, of course, this is so fun. I feel so special. I have a microphone. But
oh my gosh, you're doing the best. The best that I like. Yeah, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you. The hustle culture. This is just a season.
Yeah.
You'll get to your time where you can rest, and it's good, right? We learn from it.
I'm like trying not to cry. I'm like, yay.
No, literally. When we were opening the store, I was sick the whole month of December.
Oh, shoot.
I've never had to push through a sickness so tough before. Because when I'd be sick, I'd be like, I'm sick, call out.
Right.
Dead on my bed. Yeah. No, I was like bronchitis, lifting. We have this cement table in our front in Paseo. I'm like carrying with Natasha this cement table on my deathbed into the store.
Dying.
Merching on my deathbed. And
oh my gosh,
that was all for you guys. You're welcome. So I could bring my vision to you.
So come show the cement table a little appreciation.
Yeah, come in. I mean, like, make me feel better because I like killed myself for this story. So now it's okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.